All right, hey everybody, welcome to the Billy Rickman Show. Today I have I think maybe my first ever dual attendee on the Billy Rickman Show. Chrissy Alger, how are you, my love?
Hello, I'm back. Are you excited?
Back. No one else has ever said that. No one else has ever said, I'm back, but you're back. And a lot has happened since we last spoke.
It definitely has.
Yes, so we'll get into that. But for those of you who do not know Chrissy, Chrissy first came onto the scene in, what was it, February 2018?
Yep.
And Chrissy has one business with three different elements, specific elements of the business. She has allied health practitioners, she has a yoga studio, and she has a day spa, kind of a medi spa now, isn't it? It's really not as much just day spa anymore. It's really focusing a lot on skin and things like that. And so three elements, none of them were a great concept, great idea, great brand, but needed to get them firing a little bit. And so we started to work together in January. By April, I think we started to see some really good results. Business was really turning around, doubling and tripling sales in September, had a monstrous summer period, and did so well that you actually joined me last September on the Salon Growth Seminar tour for two locations, right?
Yep.
And that was in Melbourne and Perth?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yep.
So you did the Melbourne event with me and did so well, was so warmly received. I went, you know what, bugger it, I'm going to fly 3 hours and I'll come join you in Perth as well. and so did so well at that. And we just we share a lot of the same values in business with marketing and our approach to sales and leadership and management and accountability. And so about, 2 months ago now, we had a conversation about you potentially coming on board into Billy Rickman Coaching and becoming one of the coaches.
I know, yep, certainly. A whole career change for me. I must say, I would never have thought, obviously I'm a psychologist by trade, and I never would have imagined, even a year ago that I would be kind of evolving into a new profession. It's quite bizarre, but it's really, really exciting at the same time.
Right, well, let's just touch on that again. For those people who have listened to the first episode, if you haven't listened to it, just scroll through my episodes. You'll see interviews. I think maybe, I don't know if I called you Chrissy Alger on there, or you're going through your AKA site, Chrissy, also known as, which is a lot of what the brand you do online. And by the way, anyone who's watching, it's not Psychic Chrissy, which you you get a lot of. I even had a coaching client, not a coaching client, a coaching lead contact me the other day after we booked in your call and said, Billy, I was contacted by this psychic saying that she was coming from your coaching. I was like, the psychic, psychologist, boss psychologist. And so sometimes I go by that. And so I don't want to go too much into it. If you missed that interview, go back and watch it. But just for people who are tuning in, who have maybe just jumped on the podcast recently, you are a professional psychologist. That's been your trade for how many years now?
Last 10 years, I've been working in psychology.
Especially with some of the most hardened criminals. And,
allegedly, yes.
Allegedly. Great people. And we'll move on from that. But huge changes. And even though you're a psychologist, even going into day spa and skin and moving and transitioning into that space, and yoga was a massive career change anyway, just in that. But now going into coaching and consulting and mentoring, I think has been huge.
Yeah.
So without going too much about your background, like I said, people can go and listen to that a little bit later on. How have you found the past 12 months? What has changed since we last spoke?
Look, I think, when initially the idea for the Wellness Centre came from just wanting more of an enhancement to my psychological bent, on the world and being able to provide really good service. And, and obviously when I picked the services to go in the Wellness Centre, I was passionate about those services as far as the Medi-Spa salon side of things, relaxation services, as well as the yoga side of things. But I just didn't realise that I would become really addicted to business psychology. I knew that I wanted these services available, and it was very much coming from a place of, providing great service delivery. But in the process, I just lost my mind on just working out the science that is business.
Yeah. And it's so funny. Like, you and I talk about this all the time. Hey, it's so funny as well. Like, because I had a similar journey, and I think maybe that's why we connected so well, is that I just didn't know I'd become so addicted to business in general. And I think when I dive deeper into that, it really is the psychology of business. It's the difference. I was, one of the books that you and I both love, which is the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. If you haven't listened to that or watched it, read it, but you can listen to an audiobook. If you haven't done so yet, go and listen to that book. And I started to read it last night because of Salon Growth Con coming up, and I was like, right, I need to 10X my shit again. But I think, and he says even in the first chapter, he's like, when I think about what is the difference between him as someone who's gone from nothing, where his family had nothing and was like broke, and at 25 years of age, and I think now he's worth about 400 million US.
Yeah.
What is the difference? And he said, I never went to the right schools. I didn't know the right people. I never got, amazing college degrees. All these different things that people say, I never had a great family. His dad died when he was, I think he was young, when he was 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Had a drug problem. When I look at all of these things, he says that what was the number one thing that was so different in my life and the reason why I succeeded? And he talks about it's this 10X, like having a 10X mentality, where it's adopting or doing 10 times more on every single task than everybody else does. Like, how many phone calls did you make today? 10. Well, I made 100. How many leads did you follow up? 5. Well, I followed 50. How many ads have you got running? 10. Well, I've got 100. And having this 10X approach. And I think that that whole business psychology thing, like, I'm totally addicted to that as well, because so many people talk about it, but so few people act on it and have that, what it takes in business to be successful. So is that what you're addicted to as a psychologist, or is it the marketing and the game? Because I know you love the game as well.
It's just everything. Like, I didn't realize how much I think my background in psychology would compel me towards analysing all the different bits and pieces in business to be successful. So, when you look at marketing, for example, like marketing, in essence, I suppose when you look at it, it's about, putting out an offer that's enticing, that people will, take up and all of that sort of thing. But it's, when you really get into it, it's so much more than that, as far as, you write a piece of ad copy and pretty much, one word can be the difference between 10 bookings and 100 bookings.
Right.
And really understanding the psychology of the buyer, and that's in one facet of the business. And then another facet is when people engage with your staff, what is it that makes one staff member fully successful in being able to sell these types of products, and another staff member absolutely just bottom out in the same process, and really being sort of driven to find the answers or the solutions. And I think one thing for me is that, at the start of business, I would very quickly sort of, if something didn't work, I would be like, oh, okay, well, that didn't work. For example, I've been trying to master SMS marketing. And you've been on this journey with me, Billy. Probably even 6 months ago, I threw my hands in the air and I just thought, this is crap. It doesn't work. SMS is dead, and I gave up on it, because I thought, I've sent 1,000 SMSs, no one's clicking into the darn things. I tried Bitly links, I tried Messenger refs, everything. But I couldn't give up on it. I thought, is this another example of where there's a solution in there somewhere? It's just that I haven't tweaked it to the point where it's created the uptake that I was looking for. And literally only just the past couple of weeks, I've refined the process to the point where I am now getting, those registrations and those clicks. And it really makes me just remember that there's actually a solution for everything. I think the difficulty is that business owners try it even 5 times and they go, well, I really have given it a good crack. Maybe it's not going to work for me. But I think it takes so much more than that to get the success that you're after.
100%. And so as you're talking, I could just, all these examples are just running through my mind of people where they go, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. Okay, why doesn't it work? Well, I tried it and it didn't work, how long did you try it for? Like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example for people who are listening and what I say. People who say Facebook ads don't work.
Yeah.
I'm like, they do work. They work insanely well. That's why Mark Zuckerberg is a billionaire. If it didn't work, Mark Zuckerberg would have become a multi-millionaire, and then his business would have collapsed because people invested all this money into Facebook ads. It didn't work, and then people pulled all their money away and stopped reinvesting. The fact that Mark Zuckerberg is a billionaire and one of the youngest billionaires ever, self-made billionaires ever, is testament to the fact that Facebook ads do work. Okay, and I know what people are listening to now. People are listening are now going, but they don't work in my industry.
Yeah. Or
yeah,
they
do work in your
area. Or in my area. Or for
my clients. My clients are an older market. They don't buy into that sort of stuff. I got news for you. The perfect age group for Facebook demographic now is 45 years and above. Yeah. Maybe Facebook ads aren't as effective for your 25-year-old clients, but you know what? Facebook owns Instagram. And your Instagram stories, I was listening to Gary Vee this morning, he was saying he's got a new account in the Middle East. It's called Arabic.
Oh yes, it's exploded. Yeah.
And it's exploded. And he was getting followers for 1.9 cents. And he's like, put all my money into it, right? And, because Instagram stories are just like so insanely undervalued. And so when people all the time, they say, that doesn't work. And then you go, yes, it does. That doesn't work for my business. Yes, it does. That doesn't work in my industry. Yes, it does. It doesn't work for my clients. Yes, it does. You just haven't found the solution yet. You just haven't figured out how it works for your business. But I can assure you all those times when people say, no, that doesn't work. And it doesn't matter if it's Facebook ads or it's messenger reps or bots or email or SMS or what have you. Exactly what you said before. There is always a solution. Should you stop doing things that aren't making you money? Of course, but always making sure that you follow that through to the nth degree. You listen to everybody's advice. You have practiced and strategized and tested the market to the nth degree, and then maybe go, it's not that it doesn't work, I can just put my money elsewhere where I'm getting better results.
We'll be right back after this short break. If you've always wanted to grow your salon but never quite knew how, didn't know where to start, didn't know who had the right information, or you just didn't have the money to get it, well, this June I'm hosting a life-changing event for 1,500 salon owners, which will be the biggest of its kind ever held anywhere in the hair and beauty industry. We have 23 of the very best and most successful speakers delivering the most valuable and up-to-date strategies over one single weekend to give you real-time strategies that you can use straight away to finally see the results you always wanted. For over 10 years, I've seen salon owners struggle to get started or grow or reach their goals. And so I created this event so salon owners just like you can get all the skills, strategies, and resources they need to succeed. So go to salongrowthcon.com/the-details now to find out more information. That's salongrowthcon.com/the-details. Tickets will sell out fast, so make sure you go to that website right now and find out all the information you need on this amazing event.
But I love that about you, and I think that that's why in the past 12 months you've been so successful, is because your approach is that I'm just going to keep testing and finding out how it works.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, it's even fascinating. I had a conversation with a business owner the other day because one of my favourite things now is low barrier entry offers.
Right.
And I'm consistently fielding negativity, about this strategy. And a bit like you said about Facebook, it's not an accident that some of the biggest monster businesses in the world have, are winning because they've got sales funnels, and at the front of that sales funnel, they've got low barrier entry offers. Like, it's not a concept we've just made up, and then applied to the salon industry. But, I was having this, and I want the listeners out there to really sort of take stock of this. I had a business owner try the low barrier entry offer, and she said to me, you know what, Chrissy, all I got was bargain hunters. I got a huge percentage, and I always sort of validate that, and I say, listen, we're sifting for the jewels. We're definitely going to get bargain hunters. But she said, no, you don't understand. I got 100% bargain hunters. I didn't just get 50%, I got 100%. And I said to her, you know what? Maybe you just said the wrong things, you know, as far as they weren't actually bargain hunters. They presented you with resistance, and you just backed away, and you weren't able to convert that person over to, you know, a long-term value client from that sales process. And I could see their mind, you know, I think when you start to take that level of responsibility around the way that you interact, the way that you make decisions, the way that you structure, you know, how you're going to position yourself in business, there's so much more power to be gained from that than just going, oh, well, that person did this or that person did that or this didn't work or that didn't work. You know, that self-reflection and turning back in on yourself and asking, is there something that I did in this process that resulted in not getting the outcome that I wanted?
But no one wants to take personal responsibility, do they?
No. That's
nobody
really
ever wants to
hard work.
Yeah, nobody ever wants to be the reason why it didn't work. It's
No, and it's awful. It makes you feel bad, but I think the gains are just so much. There's so much more to be had from that at the end of the, you know, the end of the process, if you're able to always just check back in on yourself.
100%. I also think that a lot of that, which is rife actually in the hair and beauty industry. I'm going to do a separate podcast on it, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But the hair and beauty industry, people are always, the business owners are so frightened to offer something at a lower price point because they're constantly told to never discount, constantly told never to do that, because you're going to get bargain hunters. You're going to get people who are just going to, you know, they just want a cheap deal and get out. And I genuinely feel like, and you and I now have the data to back it up, that it does work. We've used it on so many clients now, and those clients that we've used it on in their businesses have turned those businesses into booming businesses that were once struggling. And so we have the data, we know it works. But I often think that the reason why people are so resistant to low barriers to entry offers is because they're given advice by the wrong people.
Yeah.
They're given advice by product suppliers. They're given advice by equipment manufacturers. They're given advice by people who have good intentions, but really don't have the knowledge or the data or the analysis of whether or not these things do work long term.
Yeah.
You know, because skincare suppliers don't want to walk into somewhere and see that their product is 50% off.
Yeah.
So what do? They tell their salons, don't ever discount your product, because people will come in and they'll expect it every time. No, they won't. If someone has 100 products on the shelf, like a customer, they walk into a Kmart or they walk into a Myer or they walk into any salon or day spa, and or online now with so many products online, they literally are spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
They have to determine which product is going to be best, right? And sometimes all they need is an opportunity to try something that doesn't involve a huge commitment.
Yeah.
For them to go, I didn't want to spend $400 on this product, but now it's 50% off. I'll give it a crack. And they try it. They get amazing results. And I'm sold. I'm never using another product again. But people are so reluctant to do it because they're given bad advice by people who have good intentions but don't have the analysis and data to back up.
Yep. Absolutely. And I think it's, you know, and I've built a whole business on it. So I'm probably a little bit more sort of forthright and robust than others potentially when someone's saying to me that it doesn't work, you know, and it is that opportunity, you know, you've got to really back yourself as well. Like I know that when clients are coming into my business, I know 100% they're going to have an amazing experience. I just got to get them through the door. You know, and that's what this low barrier entry stuff's all about, you know.
And maybe it really is, Chrissy, about the fact that people don't have belief in the product and service that they're selling. Maybe they're worried.
Well, or the staffing, you know, they're a bit sort of, and that's probably the other thing when we're sort of, you know, when we're setting up this strategy, you know, talking to the salon owners and that real anxiety about, are my staff really going to be able to get this over the line? Because as you know, it's not just the low barrier entry offer, it's, you know, how then the person moves through the sales process and how the staff really facilitate that process. But it can be done, you know, it definitely can be done. Yeah.
So moving on then, because we're going to wrap this podcast up in a second, because otherwise you and I will just chat
talk all day.
Over some Saganaki.
Yeah.
I haven't had it in so long. But with all that being said, I invited you, I think last November, said to you, would you like to speak at Salon Growth Con? And you were like, what's Salon Growth Con? I was like, well, you know the Salon Growth seminar where there was 50 people. we're going to get 1,500 people to one location. And without hesitation, not just because you're part of the coaching program and that. I don't even know if you were going to that stage when I asked you, but for no other reason, you didn't feel like you were obligated to, but you jumped at the opportunity. And so I wanted to ask you a little bit about why you jumped at the opportunity and what people are going to expect to see when you're up on stage for, 90 minutes doing your thing.
Yeah, look, there is so much noise in this industry at the moment around whether it be try this or try that, or, do this coaching, do that coaching, try this strategy, try that strategy. And I think it's a really great opportunity for me to just get out there and talk about what I know works from experience. And unfortunately, I think that some of the industry is really clouded by, and I don't want to pick on anyone or anything like that, but sort of generic services. You've got your Facebook dudes that are running Facebook ads for people, and you've got some people out there that are trying sort of messenger bots here and there, and you've got sort of maybe even just generic business services trying to bite in to the salon market. And for me, it was just an opportunity to get out there and just talk about what I know, how I was able to sort of rise out of the ashes with this business that was, absolutely just was a daily struggle, and having had that experience, being able to sympathise with salon, spa, beauty industry owners out there that are really struggling at the moment to dig themselves out, because I've been there. And I've had to really get in there and do the work and figure it out. And, I just want to help people, not, and they're probably already making the mistakes, but just try and provide them with a platform or a new understanding or a new perspective that is, the average Joe that came into, who was a psychologist, knew nothing about salon land, and I was still able to do it. And really be able to get out there and motivate people to just have a crack, and to get in there and go all in. Just for me to deliver that in a really no BS manner. That's probably my approach.
And there's definitely a no BS manner. Anyone who's thinking you got to go there and it's going to be a kind conversation.
No. And it won't be, and I just check my overhead type scenario. It'll be boom, bam, crash, have it, take it, leave it, do whatever you want with it, but it'll absolutely be entertaining and very, very much engaging.
Awesome. I can't wait to see you there. We've got a cocktail gala on the Saturday night as well, which some people may come up to you and ask you, and you may be able to deliver some hard-hitting personal advice, which will be awesome. I'll make sure Jordan's there with the camera listening in. But no, I think that what people do appreciate about your delivery, I hear this from our coaching clients. You've got heaps and heaps of coaching clients now who just sing your praises, and you're getting amazing results for them. And I think what people do appreciate from you that they don't get from a lot of other people is that, like you said, it's no BS. It's like, you know what? Your business isn't working because of you. And it's not, I'm not going to make you feel rubbish about it. I'm not here to put you down to say you need to be better. It's, you have to accept the accountability aspect and say, okay, let's first start with me. And then once that's right, then let's look at the outside stuff. And I think people really do connect with you on that level and really appreciate your honesty and rawness in that. And so I think that people who come away from Salon Growth Con, listen to your presentation and who are part of your roundtable as well, will definitely walk away going, okay, I need to make some changes in my life, but positive changes that can directly impact their life.
100%. And, that's all I'm there for. If I can achieve that and just make one little penny drop in someone's mindset, I'll be stoked.
Beautiful. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me for round 2. First ever. You can, you're the first.
Dust off my celebrity status, my dual presentation status for Billy Rickman.
You can add it to your LinkedIn profile.
I will do.
All right. Thanks for coming on. And as always, guys, if you love this episode, please make sure you share it. And if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening on the podcast, share and subscribe to the podcast as always. And so, Chrissy, we will see you at Salon Growth Con 2019. I think you're speaking on day 1. I think it is in the...
Yes, I am. In the Arvo. In the afternoon. Yep.
In the afternoon, yep.
I'm going to wake everyone up after lunch, I think it is.
Yeah, beautiful. And I can't wait to see you there. And no doubt you and I will probably speak later on today anyway.
Yes. All right.
All right. Have a great day, guys. And as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you love this video, please make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. And also, if you have not yet got your tickets for Salon Growth Con 2019, make sure you do. Go to the link that's in the description below because I do not want you to miss out on this amazing event.